Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Learn Dota 2 League Season 19 Quarterfinals. Yes, we're going through the rest of quarterfinals after we already covered one semifinals game, because there were some weird scheduling things happening this week. This one won the poll, so we're doing it first, which is good for me, because I think this is the most interesting series to me this week, as it is the one that is both the hardest to call and the least spoiled. I mean, these are all spoiled to some degree, but at least I'm not sure how this one ends. With me here is former U.S. President John F. Kennedy. What's going on, John? John Boy, do you mind if I call you that?
Sure, whatever you feel like.
Okay, today we're taking a look at Shep's Clown Car, the abbreviation team, taking on the Juggling Juggernauts, the Trashboat team.
I don't know that I have watched any of Shep's Clown Cars games before.
A
I
couple
think
of
I've
them.
watched one
Yeah.
series.
I've done them. I think I had them twice in the live games, and I think I had like one or two of them. It's definitely the team we've seen least this season. They do not tend to replay request. In fact,
So usually it's the other team that does it.
yeah, and in this case, the Trashboat team doesn't usually replay request either, so this is kind of a fun situation here.
Oh, so typically in an unusual week, this game wouldn't have even happened.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it would have happened, we just wouldn't be recording it.
Yeah.
But we're doing all the bracket games no matter what, because the bracket, that's the important part of the season. That would be the wrong time to quit your team and then subsequently see the Mighty Midget quit the team and then quit yourself. That would be a weird time to quit, you know? Because this is the important game. Mostly meta bans so far. I mentioned, I was like, oh, Night Stalker, that's kind of like a comfort ban, but I realized when I was meditating on it more, no, Night Stalker's, like, pretty good. I think he's meta enough that it's like worth at least thinking about when banning out heroes. I mean, it's still a 3, so it's like generally going to be more valuable to ban things that aren't that. But if you're just looking to sleep the legs under the enemy off lane, not a bad idea. Want to tee up success for your safe lane, which for the abbreviation team, not a bad strategy.
Indeed.
But mostly just, well, one team has meta stuff, the other team has, like, a whole bunch of stuff Luke's plays, and then the abbreviation Necro. Maybe trying to bait out a first pick Zeus here? You could probably safely assume that's going to go down if they don't do it now.
10 seconds remaining.
Nope, they're going to get the first pick Dazzle. That's going to be interesting. Wonder if abbreviation's running that. Here's a pop quiz for you. What's the actual roles of the abbreviation team? I would be a little surprised if you know.
I could not tell you that. I think Haywire Gorilla is 4, and that's it.
Yep, that is true. Shoutouts to a dude with a cure who has decided to show up in chat and not say anything yet. Dazzle Clockwork. Dazzle's an interesting. We like the Dazzle change in the last patch was very significant. We haven't really seen it being run so far. I think one of the games in the live game this week, the quarterfinals live game I'm in, we saw it, but not much contesting for this guy yet. I think people are still kind of trying to figure it out, which is fair. Also, shoutouts to Kingfisher, who's lurking in chat, ready to break out the old college rule notebook and scribble down the notes. He hasn't said anything yet, but I know he's there.
10 seconds remaining.
He's lurking. That would do it.
5 seconds remaining.
Well, you presumably best be taking notes. I mean, unless you lost to Chon, in which case, sad. But you better be taking notes. No Magnus, no Viper. It's getting very comfort hero in here. Banning out the Tide instead of the Zeus. But they're picking something that's pretty unappealing to play the Zeus into, so I guess that makes sense. It's a very confident Ember Spirit pick on the part of Trashboat. Not terribly surprising. I mean, he's done that before. He's probably going to do that again. It feels like when Trashboat wants to play Ember, he's just going to pick it.
5 seconds remaining.
It's
Radiant
very
team
early on the here, and they've already picked a hero that old Mr. Ember Spirit doesn't necessarily like to see very much for Fiery X Joe here.
I think it's not too bad, honestly. Ember Spirit usually likes to hide
10
around
seconds remaining.
the back of fights more than going directly into the middle.
5
Or the edges of
seconds
fights.
remaining.
Like, he'll go to the back line of one team or another. Not usually go to the middle. But if Ember does get caught out, then it is really bad for him. Because Legion.
Or if they have the ability to scope out for that, to
Dire team pick.
present such a... Okay, Skyrath Mage, they hate this Ember Spirit. Present a line in such a way that it's like, they can kite out whatever is in front of them, or, you know, just in some way have the LC turn around and just go to the back line and catch the guy. That's also
10
pretty bad.
seconds remaining.
I don't think the Skyrath's that bad of a matchup for Ember.
5 seconds remaining.
If I think it's just a good combo with the Legion is what they're picking it for. That's almost a guaranteed duel victory.
That is true. But I think Ember Spirit does not like to see an instant silence in any case. It's going to be very annoying for him before BKB. Even if it's not necessarily going to lead to his death, it's going to pretty badly hinder his ability to work in the backline because so much of his damage just comes from skills. So he's going to have to play it low and slow till he gets BKB, which you can do, but I don't think you ever necessarily want to do. VS there is probably just mostly going to be a duel save at this point. They have a lot of this, you know, call down on one person routine going, and that'll help a little bit.
10 seconds remaining.
It'd be funny if you had to swap yourself into a duel. Like if you swapped the duel target as VS, you just joined the duel. Even if you swap,
the duel target.
yeah, even if you swapped, if you like swapped the enemy LC, you'd just be dueling whoever she was dueling now. Team killer.
It's like how if Slark kills the Wyvern target, the Wyvern ult target, he gains the agility
Exactly.
from his own teammate.
The snap fight here is a little
10
interesting.
seconds remaining.
I think this is a pretty rough hero right now. Maybe it got buffed in the patch in a way I haven't really felt yet, but definitely last patch just felt like a pretty low impact hero, though it's just not doing a lot but dying.
Yeah.
So here's hoping that's changed for Trashboat's sake.
Snap fire in about 6 months.
This is a pretty good looking Wraith King game thus far, I must say.
It's a safe pick.
Yeah.
Although the lane might be. Dazzle Wraith King is pretty good.
10
Clockwork's
seconds
annoying.
remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
I mean, hey, you never know. That might be secretly a mid Dazzle and they're about to pick a P5. Like, genuinely, it might actually unironically be a mid Dazzle and they're about to pick a P5.
Dire team back.
Still, a lot of this team is based on quick picks or,
Dire team back.
like,
Radiant
cooldowns
team
so
back.
far on the Dire, right? Ember Spirit doesn't really like long, protracted fights. He wants to just come in, you know, knock some heads out, get out. Clockwork doesn't really like long, protracted fights. He wants to hook shot, you know, either kill or sideline the target, get out. VS is a swap, Snapfire is an
10
ult,
seconds
and
remaining.
a disengage to some degree, right? Like, all these guys want pretty short, intense fights thus far, and Wraith King does not really let them have that. In any case, it's very kiteable though. That's a big issue.
Radiant team pick.
And they got a pretty good kiting team. You know, battery assault and cogs. They got the stun and the swap. They got the chains slight and Ember ult. They got the shotgun of the cookie. So Wraith King is definitely going to need
10
some
seconds
ability to
remaining.
bridge that gap pretty quick. if he wants to actually kill anybody in these
5
fights.
seconds remaining.
It is fortunate at least he has the big long-range stun in the form of the Skywrath and a very nice skill to hold people in the form of the LC duel. But it definitely would be good to get some CC here with this pick, whatever it's going to be.
Yeah, they do need some more stun. I guess they do have quite a decent amount of lockdown, but I'd like to see something team fight. They have a lot of pick off. But something like a Magnus mid would be nice.
Yeah.
Because that would help with both team fight and a pick off, honestly. And it's just a really strong hero right now.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's like you groan when you see that hero right now.
Dire team pick.
It's DK. I mean, I guess that's another stun, and it's something that is both good in the pick-offs and the global team fights. So there's that.
10 seconds remaining.
And thus far, there's not really anything to get rid of it, but also, I'm assuming this is about to be a P1, and they can draft some bad things. Oh, they couldn't have gotten Magnus because they banned it themselves. Sad. There are some things still left in the pool that make the DK pretty miserable, I think.
Yeah, Zeus would be pretty good here.
Ironically. Well, he would be good if you were willing to run the Ember Spirit 1. I don't think Grace GM does that.
I mean, Ember Spirit Hofflane has been a thing recently.
Okay, true, but who are you going to put 1 if you do that?
Snapfire, I don't know.
Snapfire 1, baby. Here we go. It's probably going to be a 1 here, I'm guessing.
Carries that can deal with a DK are few and far between right now. That shit is just obscenely powerful. It's not quite as powerful as the Armlet patch. Everything I see that comes against this DK just dies to it in the late game. Maybe. I think Chaos Knight might not be too bad.
I think he's still a little numbers bad right now, but at least in theory.
He does kind of
Medusa,
suck.
huh?
Now select
Medusa's
your
not
heroes.
bad. That is one thing I haven't seen against this DK. So,
Yeah.
Probably not going to do that well, but we'll see.
I mean, the good news is that I at least assume Medusa should be doing alright against most of the rest of the team. Though I worry a little bit about how she's going to match up into the Wraith King. Like, Medusa is kind of another hero that really doesn't want to power through the reincarnate. She wants to come in, use her ult, get like the kills of good opportunity, like spin the fight, right? If she gets a kill if she gets a big kill of opportunity and it's Wraith King and he just reincarnates, or God forbid, it's Wraith King and then Dazzle uses Shallow Grave on him so he gets to fight for a little while and then reincarnate. You know what I mean? Not the best. A little rough. I don't think this game is probably going to be won or lost in the draft, but I do think I have to favor the avgpeen team just a little bit here, just because I feel like what they've got has a bit more of like a cohesive team fight going on. And you've got the Wraith King, who really isn't that well answered by what they're bringing to the table. Again, you know, if there's one thing the Medusa does, that's just another thing that can stop him. In fact, something that is non-negotiably going to stop him. There is basically nothing in the game that's going to prevent the Medusa ult from happening to you if it's, you know, locking eyes with you, but it's really all they got. Is just the ability to keep him stunned. And if we see, like, for example, if we see, like, a Gleipnir popping up on this team, I don't know who would build that with the way it builds now, but, you know, if we see, like, a Gleip popping up on this team, then,
Prepare for battle.
you know, I think it's
Making mistakes
suddenly gets a little rough for the Dire. Who likes big AoE? Do AoE boosters affect the sky? Oh, for God's sake! Do AoE boosters affect the Skywrath ult? That'd be funny.
What changes AoE in this game?
Gleipnir.
Doesn't increase your AoEs, does it?
Yeah, it does.
Since when?
Since last patch. Now it gives you health, intelligence, mana, and an AoE bit. So it's like, it's not at all what it used to be. Now it's just like a more straightforward upgrade of Rod of Atos.
Well, it would indeed increase the AoE of Skywrath ult.
Yeah, so if you saw a relatively quick Gleipnir coming out from the Skywrath, I mean, he's a pause 4, but if you saw a good AoE coming out from the Skywrath, that'd be good. We have a big fight here early. Everybody's just kind of sitting in the cogs. Trashboat is a little low.
Yeah, decided to
Not
go
going to be
with
first blood. The LC's actually going to die chasing it. Hurt sound
the
following.
DK as well.
2, 1. Both guys have skill at the same time here, but Wraith King's gonna win the exchange. Really, he could probably turn around. He is indeed going to turn around, just go back into this. They've taken out the VS here as well.
3 for 2 total. Considering that started off as a 4v5, it went a lot better than I expected that to go, honestly.
Yeah. DK and LC go down in exchange for the Ember Spirit VS and Clockwork. The First Blood, I didn't see who got First Blood there. It was VS, so she's going to be, yeah. It's kind of awkward she got the First Blood then died, so it's going to kind of equal out.
Judging by who got the kills, Dire's in a much worse position. Because both supports got the kills, or I guess the offlaner and the support got the kills on Dire.
Yeah, that's true. It's P3, P3 VS.
One of their carries. I know the Wraith King got one. I didn't see who got the other two.
Wraith King got another one. And we're going to be watching this.
Wraith King got 3.
Yeah. So, you got that, and the other one was Skywrath. Makes, oh, for God's sake. Sorry. Glad I didn't do this game live. I would have been pulling my hair out right when this was happening. But, yeah, thus far, I definitely agree. It's, you know, the Wraith King is walking the lane with a big advantage, which is kind of scary because he's the guy who really is, like, the problem here. You know, the Wraith King never really particularly well answered by the Dire. Again, you can kite him, but that's, like, all you can do. And when if he gets there, you're kind of dead. They don't have a great way of stopping him or like doing anything in the time of the kiting, unless Medusa really runs away with the game. So if he's having like a really good start here, it's not the best situation. The good news for, okay, Medusa very low here. Clockwork going to throw away his life to keep him up. No, just barely gonna live that. 20 HP. Eat your tangos, my friends. Anyway. Air sound in a good position. That's the important deal. With that all being said, I believe it's now finally time for the roll call. For Shep's Clown Car. Position 1 on the Wraith King. You've got Hertz Sound. At least, you know, I assume that's Hertz Sound. Like, if you see a name like that, what are you going to think it is, right? Probably not his sound. Hertz Sound on the Wraith King. Pause 2, you've got abbreviation, captain of the team on the Dragon Knight. Pause 3, you've got Fiery X Joe on the Legion Commander. Pause 4, you've got Haywire Gorilla, who just deftly dodged almost one of the gears from the Clockwork here. Pause 5, you've got, not him, you've got Shepherdstone, formerly known as Luke's, also known as somebody that you have a brilliant history with and are nothing but good memories, I believe. Mr. Kennedy, President Kennedy. President Asleepy. Meanwhile, on the other side of the coin, on the Juggling Juggernauts. Pause 1, you have Grace Jam on the Medusa. Pause 2, you've got Trashboat, captain of the team, the two mids. That's an appropriate matchup. Trashboat on the Ember Spirit. Pause 3, you've got Wilderman Beats on the Vengeful Spirit. Pause 4, you've got Jumpman on the Snapfire. And pause 5, you've got Power on the Clockwork. I feel like we've been seeing this Power Clockwork pretty constantly, which is probably the right call for Trashboat, by the way. Because Clockwork is a pretty inoffensive support who's almost always going to get along with a team comp to at least some extent. And, you know, you probably want to keep this guy who has not really played support before on a fairly narrow range. So I think this is smart. I also think it's smart to ban out this hero, if I'm being honest, but what are you going to do? This King not really taking his advantage into lane quite so much. He's only up by a few last hits, which Wilderman Beats is continually narrowing. It's not really put on that much kill pressure since the one he got. And Ember Spirit is... Well, I mean, this is just a nothing happening mid, but it's working out for Ember Spirit right now because, you know, he's got 2 very full-looking meters. Averagepeen has 0 full-looking meters. He's got 1 half meter and 1 nothing meter, so... You know,
Yeah,
sick. I'm getting funny combat music.
I think that's the difference between people who buy bottle and people who don't buy bottle.
It's true. Wraith King is going to get an assist on a kill on the VS there and then die. Sad for Wraith King. Also, welcome back. Where'd you go?
I've been here the entire time.
You weren't saying nothing.
Yeah. What of it? Where's that cart going?
It's taking the scenic route.
Apparently.
Thus far, pretty much everyone is at a fairly similar last hit count, except for the Ember Spirit, who's kind of running away at this point, and the DK, who's not that far behind him at least, but everyone else pretty distant.
And Clockwork are struggling in this lane.
Well, at least she has pretty much the same amount of last hits as the LC. They're doing a good job being offensive and aggressive towards the Medusa and making sure that she's not having the most ideal lane, but they're not really able to like put a complete stop to this. Well, there goes Power. That was kind of unfortunate. Kind of forgot there was a Skyrath. Did you see that?
Dies. Yes.
That great play by Haywire Gorilla who put all of his stuff away to eat his mango. That's efficiency, baby.
Most people do that.
That's efficiency, baby.
Alright, Michael Myers.
What? I was thinking of like the serial killer first. And I was like, oh, it's like, oh, no time for that nonsense, DK.
I mean, the actor slash comedian.
Yeah, I know. It's an Austin Powers thing. I had to think about it though. I didn't I didn't understand what the joke was for a second. I was like, how does that make me the guy in the funny mask who stabs people? Wilderman and the Snapfire here. BS and Snapfire trying to go in on the Dazzle. They do a decent sized barrage, but can't quite get the job done.
Did you know that Michael Myers' mask is actually just a William
It's
Shatner
Captain
mask
Kirk,
turned
yeah.
inside out? Yeah, it's just a William Shatner mask turned inside out.
do you think Shatner ever thought about suing for that? LC's gonna try and get a kill on the Ducey here. He's not quite gonna get it.
I remember seeing an interview about it. He enjoys that fact, by the way. He finds it hilarious.
LC does not find getting jumped by the Ember Spirit when very low to be particularly hilarious, which is going to definitely give Medusa a leg up here in top lane. So now she has
assembled.
Now she has the same amount of last hits and a kill on the LC. Kind of unfortunate. Also kind of happened right just south of level 6 for these heroes, which is really annoying.
Yeah, she's also probably got an XP lead due to having extra dies.
She also tried to TP for some reason, so that's not good.
No, it would be on longer cooldown. She just used her
Yeah.
TP. Oh. No, from something else. If she tried
Yeah,
to TP
she
when
did it
died, it would have...
somewhat recently. So she's taking the walk of shame. That's the important thing here.
Is it? No, she got Disruptor glimpsed from a different game. Still on cooldown from that.
True, yeah. Shoutouts to all the very loud people in chat today. Wraith King getting, well, I was going to say getting a little busted up here, but they actually can't really finish the job. Jumpman in a bad spot is going to go down here. They're going to lose the first life on the Wraith King. They're calling in the Clockwork to try and direct traffic here. He's going to...
Successfully
yeah.
prevent the death of Vengeful Spirit.
There you go.
The Venifer of Vengerberg.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's
That's a reference you
structures
probably
are
don't get.
fortified.
You're correct. Yeah, he's going to prevent the death of the Vengabus. It is still coming.
Not what I said.
Oh, shoutouts to Buttery Greg, who has posted a Dorito for us.
Thank you, Buttery Greg, for your Dorito.
Very cool.
Very cool.
Oh, I looked away just in time for the Wraith King to die. That's unfortunate. Was that just the level 6 swap there? No, because she's not level 6. What happened, fella? Wow, he went from 100 to 0. Oh, he walked into gears multiple times. That's what happened. Don't do that, Hurt Sound. That is the first 2 letters of your name if you do that.
Clockwork cogs do a surprising amount of damage.
Trashboat's going to take a DD here. He does not have a TP scroll.
Immediately go for the kill there. DK being so low. Just pop the DD and run it.
The Skywrath Mage is here. The Clockwork's also here. Just barely with a hook shot is going to attract the attention of the LC, who wants to have a face-to-face meeting with Mr. Ember Spirit, but without a blank dagger, she's really not going to be able to do that. It's going to be weird, but I think this game you would definitely, want to have a blank dagger on the LC before you get the blade mail out. Just because you have so much ability with your friends to actually win the duel, right? I mean, Mystic Flare plus a duel on basically any of these jabronis is going to kill them. You don't need the extra insurance from the blade mail, you just need to catch them, so...
Also, like, how many of them actually care about blade mail?
But really,
Ember
just
Spirit
Medusa.
gives himself.
Radiant's middle tower is under
No, not
attack.
even Medusa does. She loses some mana, but so what?
Yeah, I mean,
doesn't
she's...
care. It doesn't affect the health bar.
She cares a
Not
really
really.
bit. I mean, it's
Not
it's
an
damage.
incredible amount.
It's at least some damage for her, as opposed to everyone else for whom it's nothing. I actually tabulated it once, and I found out that the Ember Spirit like Flame Guard, if it's up before a Power misses another hook. That's kind of unfortunate. They're going to catch Fiery X Joe in the gears here. And it's just going to be a straight kill. 4 people getting involved in this. They called in the Snap Artillery as well.
So Medusa doesn't really care about blade mail. Ember Spirit doesn't really care about blade mail.
No, like
if
basically
he's
not at all.
If he's slighting you, he's damage immune while slighted. And if he's got Flame Guard active, then both Flame Guard and Chains are being blocked by Flame Guard.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
Also immune to damage while remnanting. Snapfire, her ult does a lot of damage, but she's typically far enough away from the fight with her ult that she doesn't care about taking that much damage. And Clockwork doesn't do all that much damage.
Yeah, the Clock and the VS, they don't... Like, I guess with this P3 VS, if she... It's true. I mean, she'll care about losing the duel and feeding the damage, but she won't care about dying necessarily. I guess she would be the target, if anyone?
If she gets dueled, something's gone terribly wrong. She should always be back and far enough to save somebody from the duel. Because if you get far enough away from the duel, it cancels the duel immediately.
Cryptic in chat says, I know the rules say no flame, but fuck Space Cowboy. Can we talk about that really quick?
Can we talk about it? Fucking Space Cowboy, real quick.
Go ahead. You have the floor.
That's all I have to say.
She's President Kennedy. You're a man of few words.
Is under attack.
I hate Space Cowboy more than 5 people on the dia. Hate Legion Commander and want her ass dead. And they get the job done. I mean, this is really crappy for poor Fiery X Joe, but again, he just needs to hit 6, duel somebody, and have the Skywrath Mage follow up. So I don't know how much he cares about that compared to the utter free farm the rest of his team is getting as a result of this. Wraith King is going to very casually greet Medusa here.
Yeah.
So I guess this is the line now. This DK is at the top of the net worth chart somehow right now. That's interesting.
It's all
This is
about
self-made
Voltex,
flare. Bauer is going to walk right into him and die. And, oh baby, no. Come on, hit the button.
That would have been so much damage too because of the facet. The DK would have gotten damage, the Skywrath would have gotten damage. SMH.
Oh, shoutouts to Harry Gorilla 011. That might be Haywire Gorilla if I'm being honest, but who knows. Stun on the Snapfire, who's going to just immediately die. Got a taunt some. Okay, there we go. Duel comes out. She has the everybody wins duel trait, actually. Clockwork pokes his head into this mess. Not actually going to get anything done, unfortunately. The stun 7-10 split goes right down the middle. The Ember Spirit actually dies in the course of the DK stun there.
And in the course of that DK stun, DK also stripped himself.
It's true.
What a fiend.
What a pervert.
That man stripped himself naked. How terrible.
Can somebody DM avrgpeen and ask him why he strips in the middle of games?
Can somebody ask him to put some fucking clothes on?
Even better, yeah. I mean, he might have clothes on now. I can't really tell, but
He's
going
looking
to knock over
I
the
mean, he's
tower.
no longer naked, but he was looking pretty naked there for a second.
4 for 2 trade there. 1,961 gold passes the Radiance War Chest. 565 gold picked up by the Dire here. And they also won a duel on the Radiant as well. They're going after the Wraith King here at bottom. Trashboat is like, oh no, he's like in a horrible spot. He's just gonna get dueled and die.
He is very dead.
And
avgpeen would be really confused if someone messaged him just to put some fucking clothes on and then explained literally nothing.
that's also true. But yeah, that was a bit of a misplay there by Trashboat. Just very out of position with just a bad fight to take. Like, what was he gonna do? Just get the reincarnate out of the Wraith King before he hit 11, right? Like, that's not a valuable enough objective to go for as Ember Spirit without having a remnant to actually escape to, I think. Very
I
awkward.
mean, I think the issue there was just the Avengers did assemble. Literally their entire team showed up.
That's true, but I mean, on the other hand, what are you not going to expect? Well, like, even if it was just LC, that's still awful. Just, he didn't have anywhere to go, and she could just duel his face, right? Like, it's not good. You're going to catch Jumpman kind of wandering around on the sidelines here, trying to approach on a flank, so that doesn't help either. DK queuing up. Blink Dagger has an Orchid queued up. Many people like building that Orchid since the patch, it feels like. Going to be another very annoying thing for the Ember Spirit to deal with. Like, you want one instant on-click silence, how about a second one? And he does not have BKB anywhere on the horizon. Which is very awkward for him.
It might be prudent for him to get a Yules.
Yeah, that's also true. Of course, it would be very sad to get silenced by the Orchid, and then Yules, and then get silenced by the Skywrath the moment you hit the ground. That would be funny.
Yeah.
I think you could probably outmatch that, but it would still be funny if it happened.
Just get a Manta style this game.
There you
There's
go.
a lot of things you can purge and or dodge. You can dodge DK
Radiant's
stun.
middle tower is
You
under
can
attack.
purge 2 silences. You can dodge Wraith King stun if he's far enough away.
Has fallen.
I think really though, at the end of the day, you're just gonna have to live with it. I think you need a BKB this game on the Ember Spirit. Clockwork is gonna come in and he is going to regret it. They are going to reveal the Orchid on him, literally fresh off the courier, I believe. LC is going to get shallow graved and then instantly win a duel.
That's how it goes.
Okay.
Dazzle's doing his immortality for him.
Is under attack.
Where he's stunned for 6 seconds.
This is such a cheater LC, man. Like, has the Dazzle Shallow Grave, has the Skywrath to automatically win the duels. Like, Fiery X Joe is gonna win by doing absolutely nothing here. Basically, all he needs to do is hit one button, and it's awesome.
You know those shows that have like the arena guy who's done everything he can to win? That's illegal. Like there's a list of illegal things to do in all these arenas, and he's done all of them. That's this LC.
Yes, this is indeed not live. Also, Cryptic is, quote, watching the stream while his EM restores the DB for the 3rd time in a row. His, EM is restoring the DB. Could you, please comment, could you please give us your comment on what you believe that means?
Encryption machine is database?
Yeah, I assume DB is probably database. But I choose to believe it's data barrier. And yeah, it's a replay. See, I can do that if I want to. Clockwork's going to drop the cogs. Oh, okay, average being in a really bad spot. Very good swap by the VS here. They're gonna do a lot to try and keep him alive, but to no avail. He's just in too deep, too far gone. Red Sound is kind of popping in at the back of this fight, though. He wants to get some supports. He's going to have a mutual stun contest with the LC, or with the VS, but the VS's stun is maxed, and the Wraith King stun is level 1. They've kind of got Medusa in a compromising position here, but not nearly as compromising as a position that Wraith King is in. In fact, he is dead. Bad fight to take on the part of the average peen lineup there. I think once that once that DK got clapped there, I think the right thing to do is probably just turn 360 degrees and walk away, as they say. Clockwork building up a Heaven's Halberd here. If he's building that Heaven's Halberd for duels, he's going to be really disappointed, that's all I'll tell you. Actually, building up a Heaven's Halberd against this team in general, you're going to be really disappointed because
I mean,
press
that
the
only
attack gets
procs
rid of it.
after the duel. True, but that only procs after the duel. So if it's used to try to save somebody from the duel, it'll still work, as long as BKB has not.
Oh no.
Which
No, Duel has a special interaction with Heaven's Halberd, and in fact, I believe all disarms in that it doesn't work. It just, nothing happens.
Can't be disarmed during
No.
duel. Does it actually say that during the tooltip? Or on the tooltip?
Doesn't say it on the tooltip, but I've tested it before, and you just halberd her, and then she just attacks you anyway. It just clears disarms for whatever reason.
I thought, what's it called? I thought I've seen a Lifestealer eggs, the old Lifestealer eggs, disarm a Legion commander, but I might be wrong.
Yeah.
That might
At
have
the
been
very
a special.
least, I think it might be a special interaction for Halberd. I haven't really tested it with other disarms, but Halberd, it definitely does not work in Duel. I've tested that much. Not like it's that important anyway, because LC is not winning duels through creative use of right-click damage. LC is winning duels through this and through this. Through these two guys that are almost died to the Tormentor, and now they get free shard on the Dazzle. Who's going to opt to stand in the healing stuff that the Tormentor gives off for the first time since this update happened, I think. Feel like nobody does that. I don't know if it's out of habit or if it's out of people being paranoid that they're always about to get clapped when they do it, but you basically never see people actually use the healing of a Tormentor, it feels like. Wraith King casually farming down here. He's quite close to Relic. Going to be probably around 25. Medusa going for a quick Ags. That's interesting. I guess wants to keep the kiting advantage going. It still does that, right? No, it does not do that anymore. Never mind. What the hell? Does anything do that anymore? Looks like no. Nothing turns you to a statue when a snake hits you anymore. Sad.
I mean, the shard does.
No, it doesn't. That just makes a snake come out when you get a single target on you. Doesn't actually
So
do
read the
the.
last sentence.
Oh, it does. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, it does.
Somehow I like missed the third line, and I was like, you know, the single target Mystic Snake is sent back towards the enemy for 1 second, basically. And I didn't really process that.
Yeah, apparently, even ethereal units get attacked, or they still attack. They just won't be damaged during the duel
Very nice.
because they still become immune to damage, but for some reason they can be targeted. But
They
yes,
didn't. They did not lane Dazzle versus Dusa. They laned the Skywrath versus the Medusa.
Radiant's top tower is under
It was
attack.
Skywrath. Yeah,
With
Skywrath
LC,
beat-
yeah.
what's it called? Yeah. If they get hexed or disarmed, they still stop attacking, or disarmed by frostbite specifically.
Okay, well that duel did not win. Nobody was actually ready for that.
No,
Power
Skywrath
is
was
still
over
very
there.
likely to die, but
Dazzle's
not
life.
Skyrath. The Clockwork is very likely to die. It did come, as you said, at the cost of Dazzle's life, which makes this a very bad fight. These guys should probably have moved from very quickly, but they're not going to do that. They're going to get the... actually, no, this doesn't look that bad at all. All of a
You
sudden.
did say it right the first time. You did say Power is gonna die.
Oh, okay.
Medusa gets her
That's
ult
good.
off.
Who used Yules on the Wraith King when he became a statue? Not like it matters. Okay,
No,
that
he
fight
turned
looked
away from.
that fight looked like it was going to be dreadful for a second there, but no, it was totally fine for the Dire.
And I don't know who else has a Yules.
4-for-1 trade.
You'd have to check who has a Yules to see who Yulesed him. It would have been Ember Spirit. He did get Yules. I like that.
He doesn't have a Yule Septa. Yulesed him the moment he became a statue, so he just spent his entire statue part of his life in the air. Not like it mattered, though.
I didn't see him become a statue. I thought he turned away in time.
Radiant's top tower
Cryptic
under
is
attack.
flaming the decision not to lane the Dazzle into the Medusa here. Claiming, quote, Dazzle owns Dusa. Skyrath disc feeds her wand charges. Well, joke's on you. Okay, he did have
She
a
did.
wand, but...
He did as a wand. But I think she got it relatively late.
Okay, they are going to duel the Dusa here. They're not going to win the duel, but they're going to kill her, so that's pretty big news.
Yeah, a little low on the mana there.
LC
We'll
with the
sleep.
blink on for BKB, not a bad idea. Dazzle going for the Glimmer
Despite-
Cape.
Having the least fair duel setup in history, she's still having issues winning duels.
Yeah, they're not really putting it all together.
Dire's middle
You know, we saw it in the last fight there. She awkwardly dual power when everyone was way too far away to actually throw in on it. And she is not really kit to solo win duels. She's kit to win them as like a team. They're going to use the flare here to find the Roche happening, and it really probably should stop because they don't have near enough damage to actually do this. And there's a DD. Oh my god. There's a DD just outside the Roche pit that the Ember Spirit's going to pick up. And now, once again, we're back to the Season 12 Classic, where both teams are sitting around the Roche pit, awkwardly waiting for the other team to engage, and neither team wants to engage. Dusa calls this play to go around. The LC catches the Ember Spirit, wins the duel, dies for it, but does win the duel. They got the whole artillery strike falling on the head of poor Dragon Knight here. They're going to use Shallow Grave on the Wraith King, who is just kind of ignoring everything else and just trying to go all in on the Dusa here. His first life is going to go down, but he is so far from the person that he secretly wants to kill. They are going to get the Dusa anyway, though, with just the support lines. That's great. Lose the DK in the process. That's less great, but hey, who's counting? And, okay, I was going to say in 3 seconds, Clockwork's going to die to finish things off, but nope. Yeah, that was, I mean, that all just came down to the thing that happened at the start of that fight, I think. The Ember Spirit, who's been a very big part of all these fights, just got dueled before he did, like, anything, and that was just kind of it.
Dire's middle
3
tower
for
is
5
under
trade
attack.
there. Well, really 2, because it was just a reincarnate for Wraith King. 3,372 gold changes hands for the Radiant, 668 for the Dire.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's structures are
Ember
fortified.
Spirit's gonna keep this T2 here alive, at least, who's that. And now they're going to walk top to take down this T2 top again, I guess. Just to relive the memory. No, they're going to go right back to the Roche pit. Roche hasn't actually even healed up yet. It's kind of funny. Wraith King has nothing queued and 3,000 gold. You better buy items.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Save him for a buyback
It's true, yeah.
or something.
Once again, Dire going to say no roching. And once again, Radiant's just going to walk out of the pit, though not after getting stunned multiple times on the DK. And we're just straight up back to status quo. What do you think the chances are that Wraith King's reincarnate comes up by the time this fight actually happens? Chances are rather low, because now the Dire is kind of walking into the pit, just straight on. And the Radiant looks like they're seeding it. Maybe? Yeah, the Radiant are just seeding this, straight out. The Wraith King just got nags. Just got it off courier. That's what he was waiting for. He was waiting for the entire Ags. LC blinks into the pit and then just dies immediately. Oh my god, avrgpeen just blinked in the pit on the back of the LC, stole the Aegis, stole even the kill on Roche. That was really ballsy on his part. He's going to lose it immediately. LC actually buying back to get the duel on the Ember Spirit. She's going to die again. Oh no, she's just barely going to live. So they've lost the first life on the DK. Brilliant play. Oh my god, avrgpeen, that was nuts. Hey, Lair Gorilla will clear this game.
Mega death.
Yeah, 4 for 3 trade there. LC bought back, did not die back though. It's really 2 because it was just the Aegis on the DK as well. 2,996 gold changes hands straight into the Radiant's war chest. What a big ballsy go by avrgpeen, holy crap.
Has fallen.
Shame he never watches these.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
But, yeah. And now they're going to just beat down this T3 mid here. You know, it's funny, I was like, I was kind of planning to do the post-season rundown on the avrgpeen team. And I kind of thought of what to say for all these guys, but this is making me question if I'm going to need to do that. That was a huge go. Wow. To say the least, this is definitely the most impressive game this season from this team. I guess everybody gave their older brothers a controller or something? I don't know.
Dire are scattered.
BKB out relatively soon for the LC. Would have been out now if she didn't buy back, but then they wouldn't have won the last fight if she hadn't bought back, so there's that. This Ags on Wraith King is not actually really coming to play yet, so it's really not going to be revealed until the next. That still does the same thing it used to, right? Okay, yeah. It hasn't really been revealed yet, not in a meaningful way, so there's that. DK going for the Bloodthorn here. This guy hates magic. He's got the Mage Slayer, he's got the Orchid into the Bloodthorn, he's got the BKB. Nobody hates magic more than avrgpeen on the DK. Like Anti-Mage would be saying, you know, cool it down a notch, bro. They're kinda... Yeah, LC's in a much worse spot than she realizes. If you get breathed on like that, turn around, walk away. Surprised we didn't get the swap there, because I think the swap is just a dead LC. But then they weren't really coalescing around it, so I guess maybe not. Ember Spirit's still working on that Shiva's Guard. He's got the Veil of Disco at this point. He could get the Play Mail, but I think he's actually starting to save for buyback, which is really unfortunate where he is on the net worth chart, having to do that. I agree he probably needs to, just because it feels like one more lost fight for the Dire and it's over. But
Yeah, It is a bit of a rough situation. This DK is kind of hard to kill right now. Although he's not immortal, this Medusa is doing pretty well against him.
Mm-hmm.
The Wraith King, however, with his 4k health and the Radiance is an issue. He's more of an issue than DK, honestly. DK
Yeah, for sure, yeah. This just hurts Sound being able to run around and go to town, you know what I'm saying?
It's a Daedalus on Medusa, I think. Is it a Daedalus or is it the...
It's just a Crystallis.
One where it's a Scotty next.
Radiant's top tower is under
Yep.
attack. Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Still a pretty decent amount away from it. They're
And
kind of
best to
awkward
get
when they're going up.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
This is going to fire out her snakes. Not going to find anything. We're going to get the clockwork going in on the DK there. It's not going to work out. Halsey actually loses a duel to the Ember Spirit. Yeah, that's pretty bad.
There was a very unfortunate scenario where she dueled and then faced the wrong way, so that she got stunned during the Medusa ult.
I mean, she also dueled and she was like way too far back in the line. The team was not actually ready to support. Even now, like guys, like hello, do something. They're turning around. They're gonna get the LC here, not the LC. They're gonna get the VS here.
And Max.
The VS illusion anyway. But
Bad. I don't think Dire can continue this fight from here, honestly. They're kind of out of resources. They have to go
yeah,
back and get some. Just needs mana. She cannot take a fight.
they're going to get time to do that though.
Middle barracks are under attack.
Well, they're going to almost get time to do that, as Wraith King is going to say, hell with this T3, I want the racks. And both of them and the DK are just going to knock it over. Okay, huge clockwork cogs here. Going to get followed up on by the Ember Spirit. Now both of these guys are pretty much dead. Yeah, the Dragon Knight is now a spooky ghost. They're going to lose the Skywrath. They're going to lose, actually, the Wraith King. He did not have Reincarnate there. 4-for-1 trade. That's not very good. I mean, it doesn't show like that right now. It's still showing like older kills, but they have they're living another day on the Trashboat lineup, which isn't super good. Felt like that uphill down here. It looked really bad. Like it felt like everybody wanted to go uphill on the Radiant there, but everyone decided that they wanted to go uphill at very different times. Like the LC jumping back here. Even if not for the Medusa stun, was pretty nuts, if I'm being honest. Like, just going way past the point anybody could help her and into way too much damage. She is not...
I don't think she loses the duel, though, without the Legion stun.
It doesn't matter. I mean, she doesn't win it, she doesn't live. That's the problem. She's just way
Honestly,
too far behind enemy lines.
She might have done a lot better in that duel. I think, what's his face? Ember might have died.
I feel it to be unlikely, if I'm being honest. I feel like in that scenario, it's just...
He was stunned for a good portion of the duel, but I don't know, maybe. It's hypotheticals
Like,
at this point.
yeah. Like, she's, like, really deep in with our whole team a mile back. And then, like, Wraith King is really deep in with the team a mile back. And then, like, the DK comes in with the whole team. Like, everybody was very, very slow to gradually go uphill. And that is really not how you do it.
I don't even know if it was slow. It was just they had a Medusa. Medusa's a wall at this point. You can't exactly just walk past the Medusa to help the Legion commander.
Well, that's kind of the problem. It's like if you can't support your teammates, you know, you're like in the wrong position. Like if you can't be supported by your teammates and you need their support, you're in the wrong position to begin with, right? Like, and everybody was just like going in and slowly funneling, and it should have been like either or. Like either everybody should have committed to it, and everybody is like ready to go uphill at a moment's notice, and they're not standing like back here, or everyone says let's just come later. You know, Roche isn't going to be that long, and doesn't do it. They didn't really gain anything by going up. They only lost. So, you know, either of those options would have been better than doing a really piecemeal half-ass uphill and just like losing men and getting nothing. I guess they did get something. They got Medusa, basically her entire Scotty, which came from the proceeds from the last fight, so now there's that to worry about. She's also got her Daedalus queued. And I mean, it's Dusa, so she's getting pretty open space now. They're no longer pinning her in base. We've got both the Ags and the Shard on the Wraith King now.
Yeah, it's a little hard to kill.
Radiant is building up for another Roche fight.
I mean, so is the rest of his team now.
The TK going for Revenant's Brooch, the new Brooch, interesting.
Yeah, the crit on it is pretty good, and the magic damage allows you to completely ignore armor, obviously.
Ember Spirit watches the LC farming. He's going for his own Ags. He's most of the way there. If he wanted to buy out, he could basically get it off of this camp, but not just shy of it, but still, he could get it off of this camp, but I don't know if he's gonna do that. Scarath going for the E-Blade here. Ember Spear once again taking the little pokes. Just the little pokes. We did get Ag's reveal in the last fight on the VS. She also has a Mantis Styles, so she is going to be a damage-doing VS. To at least some degree.
Radiant are scanning.
Some degree. I mean,
Dire's
it's good that
top tower
she's
is
not
under
going
attack.
any of those on-hit effects.
She's
Because none of them,
she's
none
got
of them
a-
work during her
about the
hallucinatory
same about the same damage on hit as the DK without the Elder Dragon form, interestingly. Which means that she'll do more if he gets vomited on.
Does she keep her? How much of her damage does she keep? Is it just her base damage as an illusion? Right.
Buddy.
Yes, no, maybe so.
I don't know, I just got a text. A very annoying text, which I wasn't supposed to get today, which means I'm gonna have to go AFK again.
Unfortunate.
But not yet, and I'll have to do that in 10 minutes.
Yeah, well,
What can you do?
this game will be over by then.
Maybe, yeah. AC out on the Wraith King. Sarah does have this Rod of Atos already, so he could go for that Gleipnir. Oh, they're going to take Tormentor!
Radiant's
Just
top
kidding.
tower is under attack.
Ags is now out on the Ember Spirit, who is just shy of buyback. A 3-man smoke here on the Radiant, looking for somebody in the side triangle here, but nope, they're all 5-manning around mid.
It's ARAM, don't you know?
It's true.
All random, all triangle.
Radiant's
A-Rat.
Which is no longer a triangle.
True.
is under attack.
LC has kind of walked into this fight with the BKB on and has accomplished almost nothing. Has had to eat a big Lotus just to like stay alive. They're going to get a kill on the VS very immediately in the fight. Also going to get a kill on the LC. In fact, she's going to get stunned inside of the Medusa ult immediately. Not even going to be able to do anything with her second life. And yeah, that's a 5-for-2 trades. This is not ending in 10 minutes.
As it turns out, when a Medusa with a Scotty gets to hit literally your entire team, you kind of lose a fight.
Yeah, when it turns out when your LC starts to fight by dueling nothing, getting kited, and dying, you kind of lose the fight that way too.
Yeah.
Rather unfortunate. And so now it's Sedusa who looks pretty much unkillable. I'm gonna ping the bounty room. Very quick, easy Roche. Everybody walks away from the Aegis as traditional. I feel like that happens so often. Here's my advice to all LD2L teams. When you do Roche, say who should take the Aegis. Agree on that while you do Roche. Because many cases of you kill Roche and then everyone walks away from the Aegis for a second before somebody turns around. So yeah, Radiant now distinctly on the back foot, have now lost the net worth advantage for the first time this game, and look how much that advantage is gone. They were up 10k just a few minutes ago, and now they're down by 2k and falling. They're down by 1,000 XP and falling.
And that win graph is definitely not in their favor.
No. LC is going to duel out the Medusa.
Medusa, and
Almost
Die.
loses. Yeah, again, did not have her accoutrements there. They're going to
Got
get the
the
first
ace.
life. The swamp just barely fails to get the job done. Ember Spirit now jumping into the middle of this. But Wraith King's kind of getting to just walk around here, just beat people up. It's a very different looking fight. The LC is going to die, but use the Blade Mail to get a lot done before she goes down. The Vengeful Spirit's going to die. First life for the Wraith King.
Yeah,
Going to
the
come back up
area's
here.
a little too open for the Walden as Medusa to be an effective deterrent for her supports, but it seems to be working out decently well anyway.
Yeah, it's going to be a 3-for-3 trade at the end, which does not favor the Radiant right now. Not when the 3 is the 3 and under club, including their crypto support Vengeful Spirit.
Radiant structures are
Yeah.
So everyone kind of stopped the fight to try and kill the Ghost of there. So maybe I guess it was too early to throw away the avgpeen team's both mortem. I don't know, it looks really hard for them now.
Venge posting an NFT of herself in the middle of a fight kind of causes an issue for the enemy team. They turn
That
it
is true.
fungible and non-fungible, obviously. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
is under attack.
I was dead
Me
long
neither.
before NFTs became a thing.
That's
They
true,
still
Mr.
haven't
Kennedy.
found out who exactly killed me. They think
Oh,
it was Lee Harvey Oswald.
Radiant's bottom
I,
tower
can I admit something to you? Promise you won't get mad.
Sure.
It wasn't me, I'm sorry.
Damn.
I know you wanted me to kill you so bad. No, the
I
bracer.
know it was you. Not the bracer. He's going for a BKB. I don't know how much that helps. He needs more damage.
Yeah, needs either more damage or more ability to survive the Deuce ult. And
I
that
don't
doesn't
even know
really
how
do
much
either.
Medusa ults. I think it'll help him kill the rest of the Medusa's team before the Medusa kills him. So, because I think that's the victory condition to win these fights right now. Can Wraith King and DK kill the rest of Medusa's team before Medusa kills all of them?
Yeah. Yeah, right now she's not a viable objective, and right now I don't think the world exists where they get to actually live the fight. I think they have to kill everyone else and then die to Dusa. You know what I mean?
Actually, I would like to point out that the Venge did more damage than the Medusa last fight,
Very nice.
which is astounding. So, can Wraith King and DK, and I guess Legion, kill Medusa's entire team before Venge and Medusa kill them all?
Well, Legion Commander is certainly not killing anybody right now, getting caught there by 5 and having no buyback.
It's a wonderful question as to why she's there. She saw their entire team walking on the creep wave.
Wanted to go. DK doing the right thing right now. You know, you're pushing my lane. Well, here's a pretty pushable lane on your part. I don't know why he's jumping away from the Ember Spirit necessarily. I think he wins that 1v1. He wins.
It kind of goes. I think neither of them can really effectively kill each other at this moment.
That's true,
so-
but when neither of them can effectively kill each other, he wins. Because he's the one that needs to go away, and I don't think Ember Spirit can really make that happen, per se.
I think Ember does enough damage at this point to at least force him back. Play that Ember Spirit for me? I mean, he has no life still.
I guess
probably
that's true.
would love to take this. With the Daedalus Shivas, he probably does enough damage to at least force
Perhaps.
DK.
Big entry into the fight here by the Clockwork, who has completely sidelined the DK. Interesting decision for the Medusa to get into the middle of it. She is very confident in her ability to just kill the whole team at this point. And can't blame her. Oh no. Okay, I was gonna say they're gonna get the Wraith King off of a reflected Skyrath skill. It's not actually the case, but he is still gonna die here. We're gonna catch the Ember Spirit though, and they're gonna get rid of him.
He almost lived.
Yep, Wraith
This
King's gonna
Dazzle
buy
is
back.
has saved 2 separate people this fight, or at least not saved, but kept them alive for a decent amount of time.
Wraith King definitely has to be really careful with how he takes this fight because he is not going to have Reincarnate for a minute.
Can Medusa legitimately 1v3?
What a
I
good
guess
question.
With the Venge, 2v3, but
It's going to kill the DK.
DK, you're an illusion.
that?
Keep attacking.
He does have
Got
buyback.
Otherwise, you lose your entire base. Thank you.
Going to come out with
Best
the
shot.
Wraith King here.
The Wraith King BKB was a little awkward.
Yeah, it's not helping. It's exactly what you said. He's just dead again. And very nice. A shallow graved his corpse.
Click on
That
the
doesn't
Medusa
do
button.
anything. What?
Click on the Medusa button. She does have a butterfly. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, the only way they can penetrate that is with DK's Bloodthorn, but obviously she can purge it.
Yeah, I'd just like to point out that in the course of that fight, we did see the Wraith King die, come back, and die. So that's
Yes.
not a great sign.
He died 3 times that fight. It's truly unfortunate.
Yeah, it looks like the writing's kind of on the wall at this point. I mean, I guess Seduce's not going to get any scarier, and I'm going to definitely still be here, which is why I'm clicking direct to camera, and we'll get really quiet while John F. Kennedy does all the commentary for a while.
Oh. I refuse.
Radiant's middle
There's a
tower
reason
is
I'm
under
caster
attack.
number 2 and not caster number 1. But I don't usually participate in the live games. It can be profoundly uninteresting to listen to. At times.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I don't know why Dire's hesitating and waiting for Wraith King to come back to life. They could just walk high ground and win the game.
Radiant's
Which is what they're doing. They waited for Wraith King to come back to life first. And that is the absolute worst duel target. You pick the one guy who can come back to life. Also, no one else was here. This is just gonna all... Wraith King's dead. Skywrath's E-Blade has been more useful to keep himself alive than any other thing, so it might have been more effective to keep it as, I don't know, a Ghost Center. And use the money for something else.
Radiant's bottom tower is falling.
Like a Force Staff.
Radiant's bottom barracks are under
Not that I can click on it because I don't have control. And Dire wins. What a magical victory that was. And we will be stuck on this screen until Anani feels that he should come back. Also, from today we have learned that Anani has an iPhone. The sound of his text messages. So, who likes the view of our exploded Aegis? I say that knowing I can't hear any of your, see any of your answers. What a terrible person I am, I know. Let's see. Who's got basic ass DK as their statue? And what's the other one that we can see? I can't tell who it is. Maybe BA? I don't know. DK with the big shield. Protected nothing. Ended the game with a 24k gold lead in 50 minutes. So, how about the Cowboys? I probably annoyed a lot of people with that statement. Not a lot of people like the Cowboys, including me, but for a second, you all thought I liked the Cowboys. Alright, let's check out this Twitch chat real quick. Actually, wouldn't have been able to see anything that was set up until now. That's funny. Never mind. Anani's gonna have a whole swath of messages to answer when he comes back.
Oh, that's awkward. How long has this screen been here?
About 2-3 minutes, maybe 5. I lost count.
That's good. What happened? How'd it end? You gotta spoil it.
Medusa walked high ground, won a fight, and that was it.
Oh. Well, that was sad.
Yeah, it was kind of anticlimactic. It was sort of like they were trying to fight. Actually, Legion dueled the worst person that she could have dueled, which was the Venge, who just comes back to life and doesn't care about death.
Did she at least win the duel?
No, she actually lost the duel, but then technically didn't lose it because of the Wraith King eggs. So
Nice.
I don't think that actually grants duel victory damage.
No, it does. I saw that happening.
Does it actually
Yeah.
cause duel victory damage? I
Yeah,
guess
if
yeah, Venge
LC
ends up
becomes
being
a... Yeah.
45. I guess death counts as death even in this.
Yeah, I think this is an unfortunate situation where I think the average peen lineup kind of didn't understand how to actually execute on the team they had here. It felt like,
Didn't understand. It was just the Medusa.
well, I mean, the thing is, like, the Medusa should never been the Medusa. You know what I mean? Like, this is the kind of game where I think they should be able to use the composition that they have to put up a situation where the Medusa kind of doesn't get the opportunity to pick up a million items and then win. You know, like this LC should be able to be getting pretty consistent duels off in particular, which should be really bad for the rest of these guys. Like, it's pretty tough to be the VS early game before you get that Ags when you got the LC like that who's just able to just come in, duel you, and just have the whole town drop on your head, you know?
Admittedly, that was pause 3 Vengeful Spirit, so she had items and was actually tanky, unlike a normal Vengeful, so it would have been
Tanky,
a lot
but
harder.
until the Ags came out, it's still a scenario where it's like if you get the duel on the VS and then the Skywrath ult comes down, good night.
The Skywrath ult most likely should be, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Skywrath had an E-Blade, though, and I don't think I actually saw the Skywrath E-Blade used on anyone else except the Skywrath. because he kept walking into fights, getting clicked twice by Medusa, and then E-blading himself so he didn't immediately die.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they had that one uphill where they kind of conga lined in. It just took out all their momentum. And it's not like they had that much momentum. I feel like they were still probably underperforming where this team wanted to be at that point just because of that. Just because they had taken, the awkward fights where they didn't get the instant duel win. I think they were kind of banking on getting a lot of duel damage for their cores, and they didn't really do that. 10 on the Wraith King, 10 on the DK. Even the Skywrath has a little bit more damage than that, right? Didn't really end up working out that way. They had this very LC-centric situation. They just didn't have the coordination factor to actually bring it all together. And we'll see where this goes in Game 2, is what I would say if Kai hadn't spoiled every series this week. But we'll see where this goes in Game 2.